Welcome back to The Price of Business. I am your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. You had no idea, Sidney Kramer, how appropriate that opening song was, because apparently starting today, on this being Wednesday before Thanksgiving, everyone's starting drinking. And that's our topic today, in fact. Chris Corso, I interviewed him recently for an article for USDailyReview.com, which if the listener goes there right now, USDailyReview.com, it's a featured article where I talk about this phenomenon. And Chris, as always, glad to have you on the show. You're with the Corso, C-O-R-S-O Law Group, and that's CorsoLawGroup.com. You're a regular contributor on The Price of Business, where we're going to be talking about and have been talking about some civil liberty issues, and delighted to have you on the program as always. Good to talk to you, bud.
You too. Happy Thanksgiving, Kevin.
Yeah, absolutely. And but that is true. When you told me that, a few weeks ago, and that shocked me. You kind of told me in passing, the big drinking day isn't New Year's or even Memorial or Labor Day. It's the day before Thanksgiving. And, when you look at it in retrospect, it makes perfect sense, because it's the beginning of a very long period of time before a lot of people have to go back to work.
Yeah, and travel contributes. All right, I'm going to give you a number, okay? You tell me what you think.
Yeah.
91%, now this is coming from U.S. Department of Transportation, 91% of all Thanksgiving travel is taking place in the car. Now, what do you think? What do you think when you hear that number? Because I have more numbers to give you, too. But
yeah.
What do you think about that when you hear that?
That makes me a little nervous.
Yeah, it should. It should, because for two reasons. One, that's what makes it one of the deadliest holidays of the year, is there's so many people out on the road. I mean, just with Black Friday alone, which starts basically now, there's no longer where you just go shopping on Friday at 2 in the morning. Now it starts. So there's people out. People are going to football games everywhere, and that heightens the law enforcement. Mm-hmm. So in 2013, Texas DPS troopers, they gave more than 385 DWI arrests, okay, and over 6,800 speeding citations during the weekend. But that's absurd. That's just off the charts. So that just tells you how many people are on the road. And that's what makes it, that's why they call it the Drinksgiving, which is today, Blackout Wednesday, and this is where nobody wants to cook. So they go out. And they go out, and when they go out, they party, they drink, and here we are.
Yeah, and I guess Black Wednesday is kind of like Black Friday to law enforcement, because they're finally into black business because of how many speeding tickets they write.
Oh, they shop all night long. So,
talk a little bit about what the numbers look like nationwide.
Well, they're similar, but I'll tell you, as you come more west, back east, it's a little less. The numbers back east are looking, over the weekend, they'll probably give out 150, 180, depends on the size of the state. Texas, Arizona, any place that does a no refusal, and I know you want to talk about that a little bit, but any place that there's a no refusal and make it easy for the officers to get warrants, to get your blood alcohol concentration, that's where you're going to see the increase. Mm-hmm. There's just details set up for that. Mobile DWI vans and such.
Yeah, but you were sharing some information I found startling, that during Thanksgiving weekend, 40% of all highway deaths nationwide are alcohol-related. You were sharing that information as well, talking about on the national level. That is incredible.
Yeah, and that comes from MAD. It is. It's absolutely incredible. And that just goes to how many people are out there and so on. I mean, and that's why they call it the deadliest holiday of the year. And it is surprising. You would think New Year's, you would think 4th of July, but no, it's Thanksgiving. And, it's pretty scary out there. But, and like you say, the fact that it falls on a weekend, there's so many days before you have to go back to work. I mean, this thing is starting on Wednesday night. So
right, got to get started, got to get above everyone else. yeah.
And, Kevin.
Yeah, go ahead.
And these fatal car crashes, they're all happening at night. About over 4 times more likely to occur at night than during the day.
Yeah,
So
I was seeing that too from that information from our notes from the article we wrote, which I really appreciate you contributing to that article. And so for me, like for example, almost immediately after this show is over, I'm going to hit the road. I'm going to be at my destination before most people get to the bars.
well, I don't blame you. So will I. Seeing what I've seen in my career. Yeah, I mean, you have to be careful out there. You have family and friends and people, and people coming in from all over the country. People come back home. It seems to me, that there's a lot of travel back to their hometown for Thanksgiving for whatever reasons. Kids coming back from college and so on.
Yeah,
And
I'm going back to my old hometown. That's where my brother still lives. My parents have passed away, but I'm going to hang out with my brothers, and so I totally get that. Talk a little bit about no refusal, and let's start by defining this because some people may not even be familiar with the concept.
Well, this is a lot of fun for law enforcement. This is their Christmas. So basically, what happens is normally when you get pulled over for DWI, and they want to do all the tests on you. We talked last week about what to do and not do, but what they'll do is they'll normally take you to a hospital, medical facility, and have your blood drawn there. For testing get your blood alcohol concentration. Well, now what they've done is they don't allow you to actually tell them, hey, no, we're not going to. I don't want you taking it. I don't want you doing it. And too much time to pass before they can take your blood. Most places are going for blood. Well, now what happens is they take a nurse and they put a nurse at, say, a substation, police station, and they take judges and they put them on the phone and they put them on call. And so what the officers will do and say, okay, you don't want to give us your blood? All right, we're going to call an on-call judge. They're going to give us a warrant so we can hold you down and we can take your blood. And we're going to have a nurse on hand to be able to do that, so no time is wasted because time is of the essence for officers to get an accurate blood alcohol reading.
Every second is hurting their effort every minute.
Yeah, absolutely. And so this is what it is. I mean, this is what they're doing. In Arizona, they've been doing that for quite a long time. And, other states follow as well, Florida, Idaho, Illinois, and the list goes on. So, and of course, Texas. So that's what they're doing. That's what the no refusal is. So when you do get pulled over for it, they're going to get your blood. They're going to get it one way or another. And
9 states altogether, is that right? 9 states altogether have this no refusal.
Yeah, that's right. 9 states. I mean, again, Arizona, Florida, Idaho, Illinois. I mean, and more are going to that during these types of holidays, especially this one.
So, do you know when all this began? When they began passing no refusal legislation?
Well, they began, and I know that in Arizona, this has been going on for years now. I mean, when I was prosecuting there, and they were doing this 10 to 12 years ago there. So it's been around a long time. It's just something that law enforcement feels will. To be totally honest with you, I think that there's a combination here. They want to try to keep people safe, but they're upping this is their time of year. It's their time of year to get all the revenue and so on. You don't like to think of it that way. You like to think, well, they're keeping people safe, and it is because you have the percentages out there of fatalities. But it's also something that they can do. It's a revenue stream too for them. Yeah, it's been around a long time.
No question about it. And we're not advocating, for the listener out there, we're never advocating anything irresponsible. In fact, it's the exact opposite. We're just pointing out the realities out there that, it's driver beware. Hopefully, I hope what happens is that when a listener hears this, they go ahead and get their Uber ride lined up in advance or their taxi ride lined up in advance. And, maybe they decide to drink at home if they have to drink, or maybe catch an AA meeting if their drinking leads to the point of them hurting others. But we want people just to be aware of what the realities are out there.
Yeah, I do as well. I mean, I'm a DWI defense attorney, but more important to me is family, friends, and health. And again, you're right, Kevin. I mean, you want people to be safe. It's a nice time of year. You're in the midst of all the great holidays, and so how can you enjoy the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving if you're having a problem with a DUI? So yeah, you want want to be, you definitely want to be safe out there, and we are concerned about people.
No,
It's great what we do.
No question about it. I encourage people to learn more about how to be safe by starting off by reading the great article that Chris contributed to over at usdailyreview.com. It's a featured article right now, so make sure you check that out. And also you can learn more by going to corsolawgroup.com. That's CORSO lawgroup.com. Chris, as always, good talking to you, buddy, and happy Thanksgiving.
You too, Kevin. Feel free to email to let us know, hey, some of the thoughts you may have to keep everybody else safe. They never know. So happy Thanksgiving to you and everyone.
You bet. Thank you. When we come back, much more for you. Do want to remind you the best content here shows up over there at usdailyreview.com, and this is The Price of Business.